What did Spirit see on Mars? This is Mars from millions of years ago, a thick atmosphere, large oceans of water on the surface, and wet land. And this is one of Mars's ancient lakes. In it, millions of years later, a human robot is roaming. Its name is Spirit. NASA's Martian rover was sent to Mars to find signs of water and life. But did this rover complete its search? Well, even more important is this picture. This is the last colored image of Mars that Spirit took, and this image hid a secret that, in one fell swoop, ended this rover, which had traveled on the surface of Mars for almost 6 years. Literally, after this, Mars itself swallowed the entire rover. But how? And how did the Martian storm, often called the monster of Mars, give it a new lease on life just before its end? A miracle that no one expected from a barren planet like Mars. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about this in detail. So hello guys, I am Kaushik, and let's start another new episode. Music. Friends, before we move forward in the video, just as you are connected with me on YouTube, I would like you to connect with me on Instagram as well. This is my Instagram user handle. The link is in the description box. Go and follow. January 2004, a mysterious spacecraft sent from Earth enters the atmosphere of Mars. At this moment, its speed is 19,000 kilometers per hour. Due to this high speed, as soon as it hits the Martian air, its outer layer starts burning like fire, and the outer heat shield reaches 1600 degrees Celsius. Scientists call this moment EDL, which stands for Entry, Descent, and Landing, which is the most critical phase for any spacecraft during its landing on Mars, because even a small mistake here can destroy the entire mission. That's why NASA designed this moment with precise planning. First, the parachute opened, then the heat shield dropped, and immediately after, rocket thrusters were activated to prevent the spacecraft's high speed from crashing into the surface. But even then, scientists knew that it would make a hard landing on the surface of Mars. A hard landing that could damage the Spirit rover inside the spacecraft. That's why for this phase, scientists designed a special airbag cushion system in the spacecraft. As soon as the spacecraft approached the surface, airbags surrounded it, leaving the spacecraft itself. As expected for the landing, the impact was quite strong. The spacecraft, wrapped in airbags, bounced about 30 times on the surface of Mars after this impact, and finally stopped on a flat surface without any damage. This place is Gusev Crater, a giant ancient crater. According to scientists, this crater was a lake filled with water millions of years ago. Spirit's mission was to find out if life ever existed on Mars, and if so, are there still some traces hidden underground? But this work was not that easy. Just a few hours after landing, the Spirit rover opened its solar panels and sent the first pictures to Earth. A desolate, dusty land. Hazy mountains stretching across the distant horizon, and a mysterious world of scattered rocks. NASA named this landing site Columbia Memorial Station, in memory of the 7 astronauts who died in the Space Shuttle Columbia accident in 2003. Now take a closer look at Spirit. This seemingly ordinary NASA Mars rover is nothing short of an engineering marvel. Weighing 185 kilograms, the size of a golf cart, this 6-wheeled machine sees the world of Mars with its 360-degree camera mounted on top, and its strong robotic arm gives it the capability to study Martian soil and rocks with the help of various scientific instruments on Mars. In addition, it also has instruments like a thermal emission spectrometer, a microscopic imager, and a rock abrasion tool for cutting rocks which have the ability to analyze Martian soil at an atomic level. By the way, an amazing fact here is that Spirit got its name from an essay written by a 9-year-old girl named Sophie Collis, in which Sophie told how looking up at the sky in difficult times gives her hope. Her story forced NASA to choose the name Spirit. Now look at this image from Spirit. Spirit itself first saw this crater. Scientists named it Sleepy Hollow. Just 12 meters from the landing site, this became the first place where it conducted its first research to find signs of life. This research was done on a rock named Hadron Deck, and what scientists found there blew everyone's minds because this Martian rock contained minerals like magnetite, olivine, and pyroxene. And these chemicals are often formed on Earth only during volcanic activity. In short, their presence on Mars shows that volcanic eruptions also occurred on Mars, and that it was geologically active. There were also some indications that water might have played a role in the formation of these minerals. After this discovery, for a moment, NASA and scientists around the world thought that perhaps they were moving in the right direction and were quite close to finding signs of life on Mars. Such life that, in our stories, lived on the surface of Mars millions of years ago. at a time when Mars, like Earth, was full of life. But the surface of Mars was not flat like a testing lab. The surface here was rough, and challenges awaited Spirit at every step. And then something strange happened. Because on its 17th day on Mars, that is, Sol 17, January 21, 2004, Spirit suddenly disappeared from NASA's computer and all its communications with Earth broke down. Scientists tried all day to somehow get it back in contact and find out what had suddenly happened to it. After hours of effort, the next morning, scientists received a weak signal from it, which confirmed that the rover was still okay, but something was wrong. The investigation revealed that there was a software glitch in its memory, causing it to restart repeatedly. Now, the NASA team immediately made a plan. Some commands were sent to Mars, about 225 million kilometers away, via radio waves. It was booted in an optional mode. Its junk data was deleted, and the entire system was reformatted. Finally, after a lot of effort, on Sol 26, February 6, 2004, Spirit stood up again on the surface of Mars. But what was about to happen next was even more terrifying, because now, the rocky ground of Mars was about to attack the rover's feet, or rather, its wheels. These are the Columbia Hills, a place that from a distance looks like just a pile of rocks. But for Spirit, this is the first step to Mars' biggest mystery. These hills are completely different from the flat plain of Gusev Crater where Spirit began its journey. The ground here is uneven, unpredictable, and something different at every turn. NASA hopes that if there was ever water in Mars' past, the strongest evidence of it will be buried within these mound-like rocks. Spirit now moves towards these mounds. This is a rough path with slopes, sand traps, and steep climbs. But still, overcoming every difficulty, Spirit crosses every inch of Mars and is slowly climbing. On Sol 159, scientists notice some malfunction in Spirit's working. Engineers notice that its front right wheel is running very tight, due to which it is consuming 3 times more power than before. That means either something is stuck in the wheel, or the motor is failing. This was a big problem because scientists on Earth could not physically repair this rover, which was millions of kilometers away. Even after many days of effort, when Spirit's wheel could not be repaired, NASA scientists came up with a trick and started driving the entire rover backward. This way, its damaged wheel was now just dragging along with the rover and was not under so much pressure. The remaining 5 wheels were able to easily drive it on Mars. Now, during this reverse drive, Spirit passes by a place called Grud Weiss, and then its wheel, which was dragging along with the other hills on the surface of Mars, scrapes off a part of the Martian ground. Beneath that scratch, scientists see a shiny object in Spirit's camera. After which, scientists command Spirit to remove a little more soil from that part of the Martian ground, and when Spirit's arm removes that soil, a terrifying thing is revealed. Because this shiny layer of soil hidden in the ground at this place on Mars was nothing but pure silica. All the scientists are shocked by this discovery because such concentrated silica has been found on Mars for the first time. And on Earth, this substance is formed in only 2 places, either in boiling hot water springs or in acidic volcanic vents. This clearly means that this place on Mars once went through a high-temperature liquid environment, and this was the place. And this discovery was also important because life once began in similar hot water places and marine areas on Earth, and this environment is considered the most ideal for life. This means that this discovery was proof that millions of years ago Mars was also a habitable place for life like Earth. But was there life there? Did any intelligent alien life or microbial life develop there? Well, to answer these questions, Spirit is now sent deeper, to the core layers inside the Columbia Hills, and there it finds some complex rock formations whose layers look exactly like those in ancient lake beds. Sulfur compounds are found in those rocks, another indication that chemical reactions once occurred here. After which NASA now chooses a new target zone for the search for life on Mars. Home plate is a flat, circular plateau-type region made of frozen volcanic ash layers. Its rocks have trapped bubbles and fragmentary textures, indicating that intense gas activity once occurred here. When Spirit analyzes these rocks, it is found that they have layers of these elements that are formed from a mixture of steam and liquid. This means there is strong evidence of thermal and aqueous interaction on Mars. And then comes the discovery that shook Mars's climate model. Spirit reaches a specific rock named Comanche. As soon as Spirit scans its surface, the data that comes out is astonishing. A massive concentration of magnesium iron carbonate is found in it, which had never been found in any rock on Mars before. This carbonate forms only in still clear water, not in an acidic environment. And this is the same chemical that forms in oceans on Earth, where conditions are stable and life-friendly. That is, along with all other evidence, Comanche's reading also proves that Mars's climate was not always as radiation-filled and destructive as it is today. Rather, this planet was once calm, stable, and a chemically balanced system, just like Earth. But while Spirit was busy searching for these signs of life on the surface of Mars, something was approaching it. A monster so powerful that it has engulfed the entire planet Mars many times. We are talking about the Martian storm, which scientists often call the Martian Devil, Sol 42 to 421. This is Spirit, which is about to collide with a Martian Devil storm in a short while. Every scientist on Earth is praying that it somehow survives this danger safely, and then the Martian storm rapidly collides with it, and for a while everything is plunged into darkness. This storm completely covers the rover, but when the storm clears, a miracle happens, something no scientist had ever dreamed of. Because the Martian storm that they were praying would save Spirit's life, that very Martian monster gave it the gift of a longer life, a new life, due to which it could now work on Mars in a better and more energetic way. But how? Well, because before this storm, a lot of sand had accumulated on Spirit's solar panels, due to which Spirit's energy generation capacity had come down to about 60%, and if it remained like this, soon this energy generation would become so low that Spirit would not even be able to move. But when this Martian storm hit it, the dust accumulated on its solar panels also flew away in the strong winds of this storm, due to which the solar panels, which were previously able to generate only 60% energy, their energy production immediately boosted to above 90%. After which NASA made a decision in which they now handed over the control of the Spirit rover to itself. That is, Spirit's AI was now allowed to travel on Mars and study Martian soil without being remotely controlled by any engineer. That is, Spirit itself could now decide where to go on Mars, and which part of the soil or rock to analyze. But the thing that scientists considered a gift given to the Spirit rover after spending years on Mars, that very gift was going to be the cause of its end. Because Spirit's drive is no longer as smooth as before, its damaged wheel is slowly breaking apart, due to which it is slipping in its feet, or rather its wheels, while climbing hills. But what does all this have to do with the end of this Mars rover? So, this story begins with this picture of Mars, the last picture of Mars that Spirit sent. But before reaching here, Spirit made its last journeys by itself, a final attempt in search of evidence of life. The weather on Mars is changing. The cold winds are now feeling even colder. Spirit, which has sent thousands of pictures so far, has peered into the depths of hundreds of rocks. It has slowly started to stop. Every command is now taking longer in its circuits. Power drain, thermal fluctuations, and mechanical drag, all these somewhere indicated that this Martian rover was now taking its last breaths. But NASA ignored all these things, and marked another research location towards a complex, unsolved surface. As soon as Spirit reaches there, one of its wheels suddenly sinks. The ground looked hard from above, but inside it was loose like sand, weak like an earthly desert. This place was later named Troy. Spirit was not built to safely walk on any such surface because before this, scientists also did not believe that any part of the Martian ground would be so strange and sandy. Finally, NASA tried hard to get Spirit out of this sand trap. They made an exact replica of that Martian ground on Earth, and tried different angles and methods to prevent Spirit from sinking into the surface of Mars. But every effort seemed to backfire. With every effort, it was sinking deeper into the surface of Mars, and half of Spirit's body was now submerged in Mars. Now this mission was no longer about finding ancient life on Mars, but about saving the life of this rover itself. Because here it was not only threatened by soil, but also by time. The harsh Martian winters were near, and at this time the temperature of the Martian surface goes below -100 degrees Celsius at night. And finally, that's what happened. After being badly stuck in the ground, Spirit's components were severely damaged in the Martian cold, and its batteries were no longer able to charge. After which NASA activates an emergency protocol. Only essential systems are kept on. Everything else is shut down. Then comes Sol 221, March 2010. Spirit sends one last signal. It's not an image, not scientific data, just a weak heartbeat, a whisper-like transmission, and then pure silence. We have another wheel offline over Spirit. Do not go gentle into that good night. NASA kept sending signals to it every day for the next several weeks, but Spirit never responded again. Finally, on May 31, 2011, the mission was officially declared over. But this end was not just of a machine, it was the seed of a new beginning. Because the data received with Spirit's final transmission raised another question. In the soil of Troy where it was stuck, minerals like clay and sulfate compounds were found, which are formed only by prolonged immersion in water. That is, Spirit's last moment also became a new discovery. The place that looked like a trap from the outside was the strongest proof of Mars's watery past from the inside. The technical insights gained from its work were later incorporated into all subsequent Mars rovers, including Curiosity's advanced drill systems, Perseverance's AI navigation circuits, and even the Ingenuity helicopter's autonomy algorithms are based on lessons learned from Spirit. NASA said a line about Spirit: "It didn't just explore Mars, it showed us what courage looks like on another world." Today Spirit says nothing, but in its silence lies a truth that is not found in any book. The quietest but most vocal voice of human curiosity left on an alien planet, and on this date, 2259 days or 6 years and 70 days, this machine made by humans took its last breath in this harsh alien environment of Mars. Because of it, we were able to get proof that the barren planet Mars, which looks barren today, once looked like Earth filled with blue water. Well, now it's time to like this video for the Spirit rover. How did you like this inspiring journey of the Spirit rover? Do tell me by writing in the comment section below. Now, after watching this video, if a hope has also awakened in you, then definitely write "Thanks Spirit" in this video. If you like the video, then like this video. Do share it with your friends. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe to the channel and also turn on the notification bell. Now if you like this video, then I would recommend you to definitely watch the next video where we talked about Planet Maldek. The story of Planet Maldek is about that planet which once existed between Mars and Jupiter, and Mars was actually not a planet but a moon of this planet. But then, what happened to Planet Maldek? What incident happened with it? Watch this video to know, it's very interesting. I will meet you with the next episode. Until then, bye.